all of us want to be successful in what we do. I don't think there's anyone who starts something with the intention of failure as the goal. The question is, are there any steps that we can follow, any process that we can follow that would maximize the probability of success? And the answer is yes. According to our way of doing things, there's a 10-prong process that we can go through that will ultimately not guarantee success, but definitely guarantee the probability increasing to its maximum. So the very first step in that is what one might call knowledge, but it's a little bit more than knowledge. It's more knowledge combined with experience that translates to wisdom. And knowledge also is different from information. Oftentimes there's a confusion between information and knowledge. So if you get some data on some particular thing, whatever it might be, it doesn't necessarily mean that we are knowledgeable about it, because we may not have any practical experience with that specific thing that we are talking about. So in knowledge itself, there are different types of knowledge. The thing that we are focused on is knowledge that becomes a resource for us. So that resourceful knowledge is the one that we have to focus on. We can also learn something that would take us in circles or take us in a wrong direction, and we always have to make sure that we learn to differentiate between those things that we have learned that are not really relevant to what we are doing and might actually mislead us and take us in some other direction. Apart from that, there's one other thing that is even more dangerous, which is that type of knowledge that will actually take us downwards. So every time we learn something and we look at this knowledge base that we have, it's very important that we learn to differentiate between those things that are actually going to take us downwards versus those things that might just mislead us versus things that are going to take us upwards. And things that take us upwards is that type of knowledge is what we need actually to be successful. So the differentiation is not as easy as it sounds. Oftentimes when we learn something, at that point in time it may look as if that is the one that is going to help us. But it's extremely crucial that we learn to differentiate between these three types of knowledge, and the more resourceful knowledge that we accumulate, the chances of us being successful are much, much higher. And I can give many, many examples of that. And I'll just give you one example in this specific on this specific topic. Let us say, for example, that I want to teach, and if I want to teach a particular topic, because that happens to be my profession, what is important there is not so much finding information about a particular topic. More importantly, what I need to know, the knowledge I need to have, is the audience. What is the nature of the audience, and where are they on a specific topic? Because if I don't know their background, if I don't know what it is that they can absorb, their capacity and so on, as a teacher, I'm really not very successful. So what I have to do is to focus on the recipients of this, in this particular case, the teaching process, and try to understand and get knowledge about those people who are actually trying to learn from you. And once you do that, the chances are that you're going to be much more successful in transferring this knowledge from you to them. And that's just one example. No matter what we do, it doesn't matter what we are trying to do, and we want to be successful, it's very, very important for us to make sure that the end goal, the recipient of whatever our task is, we actually have a very good understanding of that end recipient, and that is very resourceful for us, Because if you don't know who you're doing, for example, let's say you're doing business, if you don't know your customer, you're not going to be successful in business. So I can map this to anything, literally. Oftentimes what we think is that if I have something of value, then that is good enough for me to be successful. The answer is no, that's not true at all. If you don't know, if you don't have the knowledge of the end recipient, then you're not going to be successful at all. So resourceful knowledge and increasing resourceful knowledge in any task, in any project, is the first step. That is the very first step in making sure that we actually succeed in what we're doing.